You sit down to study. You open your textbook. You try to concentrate, but
15 minutes later,
you realize you have been reading the same passage over and over again. Or you have drifted to your phone. Or you just don't even know what you were supposed to do anymore. If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. I've been there countless times, and it honestly makes studying feel way harder than it needs to be. Hey there, if you're new here, I'm Wendy. I'm an incoming math student at Cambridge University, and today I will share the method that I use to stay focused throughout my whole study session and actually get things done. Now first, it's important to understand where our lack of focus comes from. And it can come from many different sources. It could be because you're stressed, it could be because you're tired, or maybe the material is just dead boring. But that was one thing that was secretly killing my focus more than anything, and could potentially be ruining yours too. And that's vagueness. So what does that actually mean? Well, in the past I would always have a to-do list, and it would kind of look like this. I would have study biology as my first task, working on history assignment, and read book. And so what would happen usually is I would open my biology book and I would read 2 pages or so and then decide to quit. And at the end of the day, I would feel like I maybe quite hadn't done enough, but I would tick off the box anyway. And the main problem here was that my task was too vague. So what does that actually mean? Well, having a vague task can cause multiple things. So firstly, I found that I had no clear finish line. So for example, when we go back to my previous example of studying biology, I didn't really have like a finish line. I didn't know when I was done. I had no sense of progress. And so that made it easier for me to justify that quitting was okay. And the second thing that would happen is that if I did drift off, it would be very hard for me to get back into the task because I didn't really have a sort of anchor tying me to it. I could just decide to quit whenever I got bored or lost interest. Now the second thing is I defaulted to passive learning. So if I had a task, for example, just like study biology, I would naturally just go reread the text and highlight, or maybe watch videos or something. And it's all like passive learning. And there's a ton of research that suggests that passive learning is actually very inefficient. So that was another thing that I found was also kind of killing my focus. Because like passive reading, it isn't very engaging particularly. We feel like we're doing a lot of things, but we're actually not really thinking much about the task. And so when we're not that engaged, I found that it's easier for me to just quit. And so these two things kind of happened when I set a vague task. So if vagueness is the enemy, then clarity must be the antidote. So we want to replace vagueness with clarity. And this is where session goals come in. So session goals basically give us clarity on where we want to head towards. It acts a bit like a destination. So we know exactly where we're heading and what steps we need to take to get there. So basically what I do is before every study session, I write down my session goal. An example of a bad session goal would be, for example, study biology. If we want to make this a better session goal, we need to make sure we understand exactly what we want to do. So for example, it could be list subtopics from chapter 3 and explain each topic using the Feynman technique. Draw a mind map connecting subtopics to each other. Now this is obviously a very specific goal, but when I see this, my brain knows exactly what I'm going to do. And the only thing we have to do is just follow up on this plan. And it also allows us to sort of actively use active study techniques. For example, I can just say, oh, I have to use the Feynman technique in my session goal, and I won't default to passive learning anymore. Now, I find that when I struggle to focus, it really helps if the session goal fulfills 3 requirements. The first one is specific, the second one is actionable, and the third one is clear finish line. What I mean by specific is that if our brain sees it, it knows immediately what it has to do. So when we take this study biology example again, we could replace biology with chapter 3, and that already makes it a lot more specific. Now, the second thing we want to do is make it actionable. When we see the session goal, our brain knows immediately what action to take. Now, something that, for example, wouldn't be actionable is understand chapter 3, because we cannot really sort of do the action of understanding, or at least be aware of it in a way. An example could be read chapter 3 and 4 of some book and write a short summary of each chapter. So that is basically, we are using action verbs, sort of, like read and write and use, stuff like that. And that makes it easier for our brain to actually get started and get into this execution mode. Now, the third thing we want to have is we want to have a clear finish line. And that means that after the session, after we've completed the task, sort of, we know that we've completed it and we know that we are finished now. Taking this example from study biology again, this doesn't have a clear finish line. So if I say I'm going to study biology, I don't know when I'm going to be done. But if we say something like make a mind map on chapter 3, then after I've made the mind map, I know that I'm finished. So that would be an example of a clear finish line. The one thing I would definitely recommend you do is to write the session goal down on a sticky note or like your notebook or whatever it is that you have, because it makes us more likely to actually do the thing, and if we were to keep it in our heads. And it can also serve as a reminder for when, for example, our mind starts to wander, it can sort of pull us back into the task, and we can be like,
oh yeah, we were working towards that thing and we hadn't finished it yet.
Now, after I've written down the session goal, I sometimes like to add a mini goal. So this is basically a tiny goal just to get you started. And for me, it really helps, especially when I'm struggling to actually get started. It helps to get into the flow. And so what this basically is the first tiny step of your session goal. So for example, if our session goal would be read chapter 3 and 4 of some book and write a short summary of each chapter, our mini goal could be to read the first 2 pages of the book. And so this really helps for me because it acts like a sort of mini checkpoint and I get like this first hit of dopamine. And lastly, what I do is I reflect after each session. So I think about whether I achieved my goals, like did I achieve the goal? If so, I sort of get a sense of accomplishment or sense of achievement. This creates a positive feedback loop and it makes me also more likely to actually do it again next time. And if not, I always try to reflect on why it didn't work. Maybe the goal was too ambitious, maybe I had too many distractions around me. And so yeah, session goals were absolutely game-changing for me. I would definitely recommend you also try out this technique if this made sense to you. If you like this video, you might like to check out this one over here. Here I basically talk about how I prioritize my subject as a student. So check that out if you're interested. And I'll see you guys next time.